At the door.
Dirt ball! Dirty balls! Wash your balls!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dirty Balls podcast. Today, I am Ethan Benfield, as I am every day, and I'm here with Alan and with Jeremy. Jennifer, I don't know where she's at, and yeah, she's back there in our sweatshop printing up our t-shirts.
Yeah, all one of them that we've sold.
Yes. So looks like we got one person invited to the party. So we got quite a few things to talk about. Some transactional news. I got a road trip to talk about. A couple of fun promotions this week, and promotions yet to come. But before all that, I want to read a little review that was given of the Hickory crawdads. Not really of the crawdads, of more of this guy to my left, if that's how it shows up on your screen. Somewhere over here. One of these. And that's how they became the Dirty Balls. All right, so this, I'm just going to get right into it. Usually it's like who left this review? That's like a whole game that we play. This is of the Hickory crawdads, so no guessing on this one. This is from Richie Calloway. He is a local guide, and this guy loves to give his 2 cents because he has 173 reviews. But get this. You guys have this in front of you like I have it right now?
No.
I don't.
Okay.
No.
Guess how many photos this guy has of places he's been to on Google?
1,800.
1,800.
It's a lot.
Well, Jeremy, you were kind of right, but not really even close. It's not 1,800.
I'm in the wrong place.
It's not 1,800. It's 18,000. This guy has 18,781 photos on Google.
Yeah, and I Facebook stalked him. Yeah, I'm not going to give out his name because I just don't do stuff. But anyway.
Well, I already did.
I mean, what was his name?
You
can give it out if you want. I don't. Anyway, this guy.
Yeah, well, I always give out the names on all these reviews, even if it is for something local.
He did it publicly, so
it's a public.
I don't remember his name.
It's a public review. You can't expect privacy in public.
All right, what's his name? Since you got it in front of you and I don't.
Richie Calloway.
Yeah, well, I Facebook stalked him, and I swear this dude takes a picture of everything he cooks.
Does any of it look good?
Some of it did. I'll give him credit for that. Some of it looked quite good. But I mean, I swear, it's like, ooh, I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Here it is. Click.
You know what, Richie? We can invite you over to the studio and we can have ourselves a sausage sandwich cook-off. So,
yeah.
To get into this review. Now, here's the thing about this review. This review is very strongly worded and negative, but it's still 3 out of 5 stars. So it's not like they hated us or the crawdads.
5 stars wouldn't change a thing.
This sounds like a 1-star review when I read it, but it's actually 3. So apparently there was something at the game that impressed this guy, though I cannot find it here. All right, so that's enough. That's enough setup. Let's get into it. It's from 2 weeks ago. My wife and I had friends. Oh, and actually, no, that's not enough setup because I forgot to mention one thing. So anybody out there that has a brother or a sister or maybe a cousin that they're close to or something like that, they know that you can make fun of them as much as you want. But if some bully down the street does it, then you got to come and get them. It's like we can talk shit, but you're still my boy, so I'm not going to let them talk shit. And that is how I would describe the relationship between 115 and 108 on matters like this. Because we like to take the piss out of some things, especially the ball 4 chant that me and Jeremy very publicly don't like. But we'll still come after somebody if they want to talk crap about those guys.
I'll admit the ball 4 chant's kind of fun for me now when it doesn't work for them, because now I'll stand up and yell at them. Anyway.
Yeah. So we've turned that into a whole thing. But anyway, so you guys are a little or older brother that we can make fun of, but we're not going to let other people do it. So my wife and I had friends visiting from Germany, and their son wanted to go to a baseball game. So we went last night. After a rain delay, the game started and was good, was good, except for a group of older men, older as in 40s. Doesn't really, that's not older. That's
Yeah,
the middle.
and never mind the kids that sit down there and do it right along with them.
Yeah. College kids, high school kids. I was doing it when I was 17. These guys were ridiculous. They had signs and posters and a bullhorn and were constantly heckling the visiting team. They were looking up previous stats of the other team's players and shouting out the bad plays and errors that they've made in previous games, which had nothing to do with last night's game. Yeah, it does have something to do with last night's game because it's the same players playing against the same team. My wife and I and the people sitting behind us, not to mention our visiting friends from Europe, found all of their antics very distracting and annoying. This is another point of contention. People from Europe found that annoying? I've been to soccer games. That is not true. To us, it showed little respect for the other team's players. It's one thing to have team spirit, but this was overboard, we thought. Well, then don't go to Europe and go to games with them because you're really not gonna like that. It's one thing to have team. I already read that part. It just wasn't a true representation of good American people. Okay, don't get all Uncle Sam about this. All right. Okay, just poor behavior. Just poor behavior from the local redneck population trying their best to insult and make the other team's players feel bad when they were simply doing their best to play the game.
Okay, what about in the? Go ahead. Sorry.
I hope other stadiums don't show this kind of annoying and rude behavior at their games, especially not West Virginia, where we got this entire idea from. And we hope that the Crawdads management put a stop to this rude behavior. Okay, I interjected several things in there, but I have some overarching ideas here. One, if they can't handle heckling in single A, they're not going to be able to handle heckling at a major league level.
Yeah,
so that's
like,
just
like how about the time when John Rocker talked a bunch of trash on the radio during the World Series, and then walked into Yankee Stadium the next day and they were throwing D-cell batteries out of stands at him.
Yeah,
We're not doing anything like that.
And okay, so I don't sit over in 108 anymore. I used to sit over there every single game, and then a little bit less, and now not really at all. But one thing that I definitely know is that there is a tongue-in-cheek kind of ironic sense to it where they're not doing it to be mean. They're doing it to have a good time and heckle, and it's all in good fun. I have seen Alan and Chris and I used to, but not really anymore. I've seen them make good friends with those players on the opposing team, take pictures with them, have autographs from them. It's all over Alan's Instagram. Look at in the background there. That jersey is Chase Fallot. When did we meet Chase Fallot? We were heckling the shit out of him. That's when we met him. We were giving this guy worse crap than we gave anybody ever. And now he's been on our show.
Blocked him on social media.
He blocked both me and Alan on social media, and then not even 2 years later, he was on our program talking about it and having a good time.
Yeah.
And don't be all high and mighty and saying this doesn't represent good American people. And the whole thing about the people from Europe thought it was rude to heckle. No, okay, no, that is out. That is definitely. I mean, maybe this particular people, but like I said, I've been to soccer games and I've been there with Europeans. It's all I can say. It's ridiculous that they get that upset about some people just having a good time and doing some heckling. Do you know where heckling happens? Every level of every sport. Is this really the first time you've ever heard it? And also, it's not a sellout. Just go sit somewhere else.
Yeah. And they did. Like I said, I did some Facebook stalking and I found the photos of that day that they put up there. And apparently they went and sat at the cafe the rest of the game.
Okay, well, my turn. And what was this guy's name so I can personally talk to him?
Mr. Calloway. I can't remember the first name.
I was going to call him Dickweed, but I didn't want to be mean.
Miss,
and
you can
show
call
the
him
redneck.
Mr. You can call him Mr. Dickweed. That's nice.
Okay, yeah,
Richie,
Mr. Dickweed.
Richie Calloway or Mr. Dickweed.
Okay. All right, yeah. For one, the redneck comment, I guarantee you, you won't say it to my face. So come on back to the game and let's talk about it.
Wait, Alan, can I guess?
No, hold on. No.
I want to guess what one of your points is going to be.
What's that?
This doesn't represent good American people. And one of the people down there is a veteran that fought for the good American people.
Exactly.
Being
So,
you.
yeah.
Well, it's not
Come
just
say,
represent. Never mind. Go ahead.
like I said,
Y'all
come say it to
international.
my face. I'm one of the most patriotic Americans here. And one of the people that was, you know, in the section, which happens to be this lady right here. Yeah, she's from the Czech Republic. So, and the guy that's beside of him, you told him to go sit down because he wasn't sitting down fast enough for you. He was going to his seat. That's what started everything. We're season ticket holders. Our names are on that seat. So if I want to stand in front of my seat that I paid money for, that's why I said it loud enough for you to hear me.
But
you
those
didn't
season
have the
tickets
balls
aren't
to
cheap.
You didn't have the balls to come say nothing. You got up and left. Great. I'm glad you did. And I hope you went down to a better place. But let me tell you something. Okay, here's an article written, and we were on the front page of MiLB.com. Okay. So talking about us.
We got evidence.
Here's one book. Here's two books that Chris and I am in, talking about what we do in 108 and talking about the love of the game, how much I support these players back here that's on my wall of family, because these are family. That guy right there was the enemy who is 100% part of my family right now that I would do anything for. And all these other guys here have played for the crawdads who are part of my family. So eat a bag of dicks, and I'll say that to your face. This has pissed me off so much, and I actually kind of forgot about it until we brought it up tonight.
I intentionally didn't pre-read that or anything. I wanted to get my 100% real-time reaction on the show, so I didn't read that until just now.
But yes, come
I
back
don't
to the
like it
damn
either.
stadium and say something to me, okay? Say
That's
something
coming
to
from me,
Chris.
who, you know, in 115 we like to kind of have a little bit of fun at the expense of some of the chants that don't work, or just one of them really. But again, you know, we can make fun of you, but we're not going to let those other people do that.
No. Well, it's just like,
Like
the,
I
the
said,
quiet please game.
Yeah, well, you know, we do heckle the other team, okay?
So
and a
does
lot of
everybody.
people, and a lot of people don't get it because they don't have the patience to sit there whenever you have one of the top prospects of the Boston Red Sox come up and give us one of his bats and sign it and give it to Chris. You know, we have a guy who plays in Charlotte right now who gave us a bat, who signed a Pringles can because we were giving him shit about looking like the Pringles man, who lights up every time we go visit him. So
There's
it's
a
all
video.
in fun.
There's a
these
video
guys
on-
understand it.
There's a video on one of the old channels. It might be on this channel, because I remember I had two channels. One of them I made personal videos on, and one of them we made the podcast on, and then eventually sometime it switched. But there's a video of Austin Riley, who was pretty famous, who's a pretty famous Atlanta Brave right now, signing the golden sombrero.
I need that video. And since you brought it up, let's go ahead and talk about this man. Do you know what
Yeah.
happened today? This man
No, I don't.
who got the golden sombrero, which is 4 strikeouts in one game, we give him hell. He signs my sombrero. He comes back the next day. It's not one, but 2 home runs in a row. Who's in the major leagues now, who, you know, has a ring from last year. Well, today he just signed a $212 million 10-year contract extension through 2032 with a
Go
20
home.
million with a 20 million club option for 33, whatever the hell that means.
Wow.
But he is with the Braves for 10 more years. I guarantee you, Mr. Douchebag, if you go to him and ask him about 108 in Hickory, He's not going to know my name, but he's going to know 108. And he had fun with us just as much. And we gave him a hard time.
Okay, the video I was looking for is actually a video of Matthew Page signing Golden Sombrero, but in that video, we pointed out where Austin Riley had signed it the night before.
So we give these guys a hard time, but we want every single person that walks on that field to make it to the major. So I can sit right here and say that I gave him a hard time. He knows who I am. And to continue on with him, this month alone, he batted .423 with 11 home runs with an OPS of 1.344. And yesterday, he had a walk-off double, which broke a record set by, anybody want to guess?
Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron with 26 extra base hits. So my heckling made him step his game up, is all I can say.
Yeah, and I loved how he reacted to y'all kind of ribbed y'all when he hit one of those 2 home runs that next day. Yeah, I can't remember if it was after he crossed home plate or after he hit it, but I do remember him looking at 108 and going,
yeah.
And then just going on. I thought that was hilarious.
And what can we do but golf clap him or just make some joke about him, because it happened this week as well. We had a Golden Sombrero. I can't remember his first name, but his name's Horn,
Bryson Horn.
Yeah, Bryson Horn.
I remember that because as a Braves fan, I was paying very close attention and to everybody.
Well, I remember that because the press box was heckling him by his walk-up music being different horns playing.
And then, we were winning, I think like 3-0, and then somebody hits a home run, and I think it was Horn looking at us. Count those steps. Dude, you're losing. So we started chanting scoreboard. We were having fun with each other. And it sucks this week because, and I'm not throwing it out there, but you should definitely go check it out. Section 108 Mega Man and the Mega Minions. I know it's long. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. Each week we take one player that we've had the fun with and that has fun with us, and we call it the player of the game. Well, Chris wasn't there Sunday, and I wasn't there Friday and Saturday because we've been sick. Jennifer's mother's been in the hospital with the Rona and pneumonia. She should come home tomorrow, thank goodness. So we all had a little something. I tested negative because I had to get a test at work. But, we didn't get our picture with the guys from Rome this week. So I think we close the season out against Rome here at home. So we'll take a double picture or whatnot. But yeah, these guys are always, Rome is one of the teams that gives us the most fun back. Out of all the teams that we play, they are the most fun to play because they will haggle us back and have fun with us.
And let me say that the people that I have labeled the turncoat Brave fans were not really there this homestand. I saw a few, but it wasn't to the extent that I've seen it in the past. There was one that was pretty annoying, but
he was wearing a crawdads hat and a crawdads shirt, but was actively booing the crawdads and cheering for the Braves.
Now, I think I know what happened there. This is not defending him. This is not saying that he was right to do this, but this is definitely what happened. Was it a kid?
He looked to be about 15, 16.
Okay, well, then I know what happened. Mom and Dad said, let's go to the Crawdads game. He said, cool. He got his Crawdads shirt and got his Crawdads hat. Did not know who they were playing. He got there, had on his Crawdads stuff, saw that we were playing against the Braves, and then made the decision to pull for the Braves since he is probably a Braves fan. So that's probably, I'm not saying that that's right, but I'm saying that's probably exactly what happened.
That's still indefensible.
Yeah. But I'm saying I'm agreeing with you that it's indefensible. I'm just trying to get
But what I'm saying is, I remember the Crawdads came to town in 1993.
You losing your
I graduated high school in about my sophomore or junior year. Huh? Okay.
There's like a technical thing there. I don't know about Alan's screen, but you froze up on mine kind of in the middle. So
okay.
Crawdads came around in 1993. That's where you were when you froze.
Right. They came to town in 1993. I graduated high school in 1995. That means they came to town about my sophomore or junior year of high school. You know, I was 17 years old, not much older than this kid. I wore my crawdad stuff, what little bit of crawdad stuff I had then, to the games I went to. When the Yankees affiliate came to town, I was wearing my crawdad stuff. But guess who I was? I wasn't pulling for the Yankees. I was pulling for the crawdads.
As you should. I'm not. I'm saying I'm agreeing with you that's.
You're old enough.
I was just trying to get inside the brain of this kid and see what led him to this.
He's old enough to know better.
But yeah, the Tuesday night, you know, they was Braves fans there. They had their Braves shirts on, sitting in 108, but they didn't give us a hard time. Hell, I heard some guys doing the cheers with us against the Braves, and they were wearing Braves stuff. So, you know, this week was a pretty good week, all things considered. So, but yeah, Mr. Douchebag, eat a bag of dicks to come say it to my face. But let's get off that topic and let's just go over the week that was. So,
well, before the week that was, there was the weekend that was.
Go ahead.
Where I went. Well, there's really not all that much to say. I went to Greensboro Friday night. We lost, but it was a fun game. Had a really good good food. I had a brat that had beer cheese and kraut and onions on it. And I put jalapenos on it, which was probably a mistake because it was 90 degrees outside. And yeah, but good game. Food was good. Christmas in July was their promotion that night. And you know, like I've said this before, Emily is doing a better job this year at our promotions than other people have done in previous years. I have said that. I am on record as saying that. Greensboro kicked the shit out of us when it came to Christmas in July. They did it big. They had a big ornate chair with like a Santa throne, like you would see at the mall, you know, and there was garland everywhere, and they had a tree, and they had Christmas music playing all throughout the game, and they had like a raffle thing where people were winning Christmas presents. There were ornaments and bobbleheads, and two people both got $200 gift cards at the Cheesecake Factory. And so, you know, there were now one thing that was pretty annoying, but this has nothing to do with the Grasshoppers or the stadium, so I can't fault them for it. The apartment building right behind the ballpark, somebody's fire alarm went off, and it rung for about 2.5 innings nonstop. Just
that was
for 2.5 whole innings. And when it finally ended, like the whole stadium cheered like somebody just hit a grand slam. It was crazy. And the fireworks show was short but packed with it was a really good fireworks show.
I heard about this show all week. It must have been amazing.
Well, Scott really, really liked it, and so did I.
Not just Scott, but I heard it from Donna. I heard it from everybody.
Yes.
It must have been an amazing fireworks show.
It was a hell of a fireworks show. Top 5 that I've seen. I wouldn't put it number 1 because the one that we saw in Durham was crazy. But
it was
and the one that we saw on our Texas trip a few years ago at Frisco was really good, and that one in Asheville also. But yeah, it was a really fun fireworks show. Like they really put some effort into, and they made it Christmassy. It was a lot of red and green, which I don't know how red and green became the Christmas colors. Maybe there's a history lesson there for me. But a lot of red and green and a lot of silver and gold. It was a very festive, and they had their Santa was in a Hawaiian shirt, which was probably a lot more
nice.
Was a lot more fun for him because you know
our Santa was in full gear.
Yeah, and our on-field staff were wearing like sweaters Now it is July in North Carolina,
90
and
plus.
they,
degrees.
they were wearing sweaters. But at Greensboro, they had like Christmas themed jerseys that they were wearing. That the players weren't wearing them, but the spaz and the other people were wearing them.
Yeah, you were talking about our staff wearing sweaters in 90 plus degree weather, and just a little bit of foreshadowing about tonight's baseball team I'm going to talk about. In 1942, the Hickory Rebels had a player quit and go back home because he said the weather in North Carolina was too hot.
Yeah, that checks out.
Can't disagree with that one.
And I guess
Yeah,
they're
we were-
also tired of the 15-minute thunderstorm at 3 o'clock every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to go to the game. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we're past that now. I saw a meteorologist on Facebook today said we're past the peak hot weather and thunderstorm season now.
You guys should stay tuned for
cooler.
the new podcast on this channel, Weather Time with Jeremy and Ethan. We're going to get some weather balloons, and it's going to be a great time.
People will shoot at them thinking they're aliens. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, there's going to be like what was that, like in 2009 when they thought a kid was up there, but it was a publicity stunt?
Yeah, I thought it was a kid in a chair.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, we were going to go to the game Saturday, but I don't know why we didn't.
Y'all were
Maybe it's
sick.
'cause it's No,
I know why I didn't go, but that is an off-camera conversation.
I don't remember.
Well, I know I talked to you Sunday, and you said you were feeling better, but you said you wouldn't have been there if Lucas wasn't working.
No, I'm talking about to the game in Greensboro.
Oh,
we
right.
we
I'm a
had
week-
company.
I'm a week
Yeah,
back.
we had company, and we had to babysit, and yeah, I didn't want to go up there by myself. I was going to have someone on the show who's never been, but stuff came up. He wasn't allowed to go. That's why I didn't go. And plus, I didn't want to go up there by myself in the heat. That's
Oh,
why.
and also shout out to the lady that was working at the hot dog stand where I got my brat in Greensboro, because that's gotta be not a very fun job, but she was making the best of it. Like, she was jamming out to all of the music while she was working, and it just brought a very fun vibe waiting in line. So that was cool.
Cool deal.
So that was the weekend. Now on to the week.
All right. Well, Tuesday, the Rome Braves came into town. What their number? They're first in the league right now in the division.
Yes.
So yeah, and we whooped their ass Tuesday. It was 7-3. The bats just came alive and had some pretty decent pitching. So I mean, nothing. Like I said, I don't remember stat wise and who done what. Blah blah blah. I just know that all week our bats were pretty damn good up till Friday and Saturday.
Christian Noah had a hell of a week.
So, but yeah, Tuesday, like I said, we won 7-3. Wednesday, we're going to talk about this day because it was our first promotional day, and we ended up winning 14-6. And this game started like an hour and a half late, I think it was, because of the rain, and only because Adam from Greenville, South Carolina, came up to the game. Every time this man comes to Hickory, it rains. But we still got the game in, and this was the bad promotion night. So
Yes.
The
Which
biggest
in
case
itself
of FOMO that I've ever
amazing.
gotten is when I came to the game on Thursday, having not been there on Wednesday, and heard the description of what this game turned out to
yeah,
be.
this was a game which is just supposed to be a bad promotion, and we had no idea what to expect because
No idea.
every game in Hickory's bad promotion. So we didn't know what
Was.
to.
I tell you, I have not laughed so much at the on-field games, and all that ever at a ball game.
You guys are
Definitely
killing me
not.
because I missed this and I really hated it that I missed
And
it.
well, and really hats off to them, not just for having a good promotion and going through with it all. But they had a 45-minute rain delay before the game, and they had to go out there and just come up with stuff to entertain people.
All right. So give me some highlights. What were some of the things that they did?
Well, before the game, they brought out the ponies that they race. They'll get the kid on there and they'll hop against the most places it's against the mascot or whatever. Well, they brought the four ponies out and they faced all of them together at different angles and played musical chairs with it. They got 5 kids out there, played musical chairs and all that, which sounds pretty normal. But then at the end, when the music stopped, there were 2 kids, 1 pony left. And when the music stopped, Kennedy grabbed the pony and took off running across the field. And both kids hit the ground. And I don't think she realized.
Lenore Ryan track star Kennedy, who I know can run very fast.
Yeah, but see, she would like slow down and wait for them to almost get there and then run a little further. And then eventually she stopped and the little girl dove onto the pony. That was hilarious. And then Emily, remember, the sun is still shining brightly. She said she's going to do a light dance routine, which I've not seen a lot of those in my lifetime, but the few I have seen have all been in the dark. So she gets out there with the lights and starts dancing to Katy Perry, Your Firework, and is just out there doing like, all kinds of stupid poses and stuff. It was hilarious.
And
that's gonna be a thumb shot for me.
Movie trivia. I heard there was a pretty fun version of that.
I've got some videos of some of the stuff. I may put that onto the end, or might save it for a different video. But the movie trivia. And the people that got up on the dugout played right along. I don't know if they told them beforehand what was up or whatever, but anyway, they played along, and they got up there. And the movie clip, they always do a movie trivia. They'll show a clip from a movie, and the person's supposed to guess what movie it is.
And usually there's a theme that all the movies will go with.
Like when it was Wizard Night, they were all movies that had to do with Harry Potter. I mean, different wizards.
Yeah, it was Wizard Night, and they only really used one wizard.
But or something like that, or it might be like Spy Night, and it'll have like spy movies like James Bond or.
Well, no, because that's a dumb idea, according to y'all 2 weeks ago.
But anyway,
James Bond, the Ethan, whatever his last name is for Mission Impossible, Jason Bourne.
Or it might be, like Halloween night at the ballpark, and it'll be different horror movies. Well, anyway, it's always different movies. It might be in the same genre. It might be in the same series of movies. It's always a different movie. Well, this time they showed 3 different clips from the same movie.
And that movie, let me. This movie that I unironically think gets way more hate than it actually deserves and isn't really that bad.
I agree.
But this movie, like within the movie zeitgeist, is kind of known as a bad movie or a disappointing movie, even though I don't agree. It's The Phantom Menace, the first Star Wars prequel. And apparently all 3, but even the people that say it wasn't as bad as people say it is, even they agree that Jar Jar Binks was a pretty terrible character. And they decided, from what I've heard, to play 3 clips that all
had Jar Jar Binks.
So
yeah, they showed the first. Yeah, they showed the first clip, and then the answer that came up on the screen was a Star Wars movie. They didn't name the specific. It was a Star Wars movie. And then they showed the second clip, which still had Jar Jar Binks from The Phantom Menace, and it said another Star Wars movie. Then they showed the third clip, and the answer came up, and it said still a Star Wars movie, which I just thought was hilarious.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
And then they did finish the lyrics. And if you don't know how Finish the Lyrics works, they get somebody out of the audience up or audience out. They get a fan up there on the dugout, and they'll play part of a song, and then they'll turn it off, and you're supposed to finish the lyrics. Well, they were doing the first song was an instrumental. It had no lyrics. And I can't remember I can't remember the second song, but it was like super, super easy. It was like I can't remember, but it was about almost the same as the third. And the third song was the ABC song. A B C D E F G
Where'd they cut it off at?
H.
Well, then, so did they have
Cut it off
to,
at H, and he goes I J K, and then
how
like,
far
yeah,
did
yeah,
she
you
get did she get all the way to Z?
no,
That
no.
would have been fine. I
It
would
was
have.
a guy, and he was like HIJK, and they stopped him. And then right when he was getting ready to, right before they got off the dugout, she asked him. She says, "Well, do you know what the next letter is?" He goes, "Yeah, LMNO."
Classic. And our Lee did the dizzy bat race, and I've seen that video, and they kept losing count and restarting the count, and then Lee fell flat on his face.
Tumbled. I talked to him a couple days later, and he said he was still sore. It was. I'll post the videos. I don't know if it'll be on this video or a separate one, but we'll post the videos. I'll send a copy of them over to you, Al, and you can put them on too.
We've actually already gone over 30 minutes, so this is not going to be one of those times where we go, oh, I guess it's going to be a short episode. Because no, we still got promotions and some story time.
I got a couple of videos from that. When they were going over the starting lineups for the other team, they had different names for all the players. For Little Bo Peep, and I actually sent the Little Bo Peep song to Lee, and that was his walk-up song all week long.
All week, yeah.
So, they've done like Cal Callaway, but it was like California something.
California Coney.
Yeah, they
California Coney Island. That's what it was.
And when we were coming out to bat, they would be like, the guy who doesn't have to move much, talking about the catcher. I can't remember who was catching that night, or the guy the pitching, the guy in the center of attention.
Yeah.
But they would always say their first name. And Aaron Zavala, who, let's go ahead and say this one, he got promoted to Frisco. But before he was promoted, they called him Aaron. Well, he requested it. He wanted
Did
to
he really?
Yes. So, and I wish I would have known he would have been cool with it, or I'd have called him that all damn year.
Now
Yeah.
I mean, that is a reference from 10 years ago, but apparently one that still gets laughs.
But yeah, I've got a video of them coming out the dugout, and of Bo, I can't remember his name. I'm horrible with names, y'all know this. But as he walked up, they said Little Bo Peep played the song and everything. So I'll probably try to post a couple of those on mine as well. But yeah, I mean, this night is exactly what minor league baseball is about.
Yes.
If some Joe Schmo coming from Montana just happened to be in Hickory, North Carolina this past Wednesday, came to a game.
I know Bo's name. John
Bo
Schneider.
Phillips.
Thank you.
That's bad promotion right there.
But this was what baseball is, and that person has never been to the game except for douchebag that we talked about first thing to the show. This is what they want to come and see. Just having fun. So
yeah,
I don't know if that was a Dukes of Hazzard reference from somebody who was born like 15 years after it went off the air. I don't know if all of our viewers had caught that or not, but yeah.
But we don't. Even Major League doesn't have to be this strict as we are.
Yeah.
We're here to have fun, to take your mind off your shitty day that you had at work or whatever you had going on at your house. It's a release, and you need these kind of things. And I hope, and I know some of the crawdad staff watch these things. This is what we need, guys. Keep up the good
Yeah.
work. We dog
Yes.
you like crazy because we want it to be better. And
Yeah.
finally, y'all have knocked it out of the park for real.
Definitely.
So
I
yeah,
mean,
definitely.
there are other
You know,
there are other teams should be looking at that night in Hickory for what they do.
like
They
I
should
said,
take
the
lessons.
one thing that could be better, because there's always something that could be, go back and look, Photoshop on the scoreboard. You kind of did it with the geek Romans, and
The
then we
Greek
were the
Romans.
crawdaddies. Yeah,
Yeah, they were the Greek Braves instead of the Rome Braves.
yeah. So that you kind of you started it. Now continue it. That's the only thing. And like I said, use that video camera that you take around there and put it on that scoreboard because I can't see what you're doing on the concourse at the very bottom.
One suggestion I have is I love the fish or not a fish or the dog or not a dog when they do that. But I think like pick a player, like a different player for each night that you do that. I mean, and not even do it every night that you do that. But put like you got Nick Kraft on the just be like Kraft, fish or not a fish. Oh no, that's a pitcher. And then put his picture up there.
Right.
I think that would just help the fans maybe get to see their faces a little more, and I don't know, just make it seem like the fans are a little more part of the game.
I remember one year they had like baby pictures or childhood pictures of players, and you had to guess what player it was. That was fun.
But yeah, like you said, we are definitely doing things better this year. And Wednesday night, y'all got to take that and build off that. I mean, that's exactly your stepping stone that you need right there. So my hat's off to everybody that's done that night. So keep it up.
Yeah. Speaking of promotions, unless we have something to say for the rest of the weekend, which I don't, because I wasn't at that many games. I was gonna say let's go ahead and talk about the next promotions, but we might
Thursday night.
Talk about
Yeah, Thursday night we won 6-1. Friday and Saturday I was not there for either night because I just felt like shit. Finally, we lost Friday 3-5. Saturday we lost 4-5.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, I was thinking of Thursday. We won Thursday. I remember JT made the bad call, and I was worried that would affect the outcome of the game, and it didn't. So,
but the night we did lose, the night we lost in extra innings, JT cost us that game.
Yeah.
And speaking of JT, he threw Carlos out Thursday night
for arguing the call that I just the aforementioned bad call.
Yeah.
Where dove into third, got tagged, dropped the ball, still called out.
Yeah, the ball wound up being like 6 feet behind the third baseman. Still said he tagged him out.
And you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but their bosses were here all week.
Well,
then they should both be promptly fired tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Fired out of a cannon.
As we're taping, tomorrow morning being Tuesday, first day of the week for minor league baseball.
So, but Lucas said he walked in Tuesday and one of the bosses would teach them how to rub the balls right and all this good stuff. So, there's your own jokes there. But yeah, Denver and JT's bosses were there to evaluate them and they sucked.
Denver wouldn't even have to get on his knees.
Whoa, wait a minute. Now this is inappropriate. What's Lucas, like 14 years old, and they're over here trying to teach him how to rub balls the right way? I don't like that.
But they suck. Thank God this week was over. Because Jennifer asked me the other day, because she didn't go to a lot of the games when I even went. She's like, well, how was the umpiring? And I'm like, I guess we got used to it, because I don't know. I couldn't say it was good and I can't say it was bad.
Well, it was bad. But to me, the roles seem to have been reversed. The first
Yeah, I
two
think-
homestands when we had them, it was Denver. The last homestand, it was JT. JT,
I think-
it's like somebody told JT, "You can't be as bad as Denver," and he said, "Hold my beer."
For real. So, and then yesterday we won.
That gave me an idea.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I've told you guys before about my idea for a romantic comedy about a male and female umpire that fall in love at a game. I got another one. This can be like one of those like Will Ferrell, John C. Riley ones, and we get Judd Apatow to do it and be just like Talladega Nights. But it's going to be about two umpires that have a competition to see who can make such bad calls that they get fired first. They start out in AAA and then they get sent down to AA and single A, and it's a competition to see who can get fired the quickest between these two terrible umpires.
But why would they want to get fired?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something
We'll
that made 'em
workshop
mad?
that out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. But yeah, that's my idea
You
for
gotta
another
have one be like
comedy.
really short and one really tall.
You know,
One
like-
one light skinned and one dark skinned.
Yeah.
so we need a taller black gentleman and a short white guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could switch it and have Kevin Hart be the short one. Who would be the tall one?
We can have Will
We could
Ferrell.
get-
be the tall one.
Is Will
Well,
Ferrell
we can just
tall?
get Ethan. We
He's
can
on
get
the taller
Ethan to play the
side.
white guy because he kind of looks like John Denver in a way.
We don't have
Kinda,
to.
yeah.
The races don't have to be the same. We don't have to get that accurate. I think Kevin Hart should be the short one. He's a Kevin Hart and The Rock. They like doing stuff together.
By the way, if you hadn't watched Man from Toronto on Netflix with Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson, I highly recommend it. It's hilarious.
All right, good to know. Do we want to do our promotions or do we want to do our local minor league history segment first?
Well,
You're
okay,
right.
like I said, so yesterday we won barely 11-10.
We tried to give that one away.
Phew, it was very close. So go ahead and get the promotions out of the way. Asheville comes to town for this week. All the games are at 7 except for the dreaded Sunday game, which is 3:00. Tomorrow, hopefully you'll see this before the game. You know, it's Dollar Dog, $2 craft beers. So go buy a Bold Rock, bring me one down. We'll be good to go.
Bring me one. Over 115.
I'll take one too.
So
Like a good bold rock.
Wednesday, the 3rd, it's cereal celebration. So we're paying tribute to cereal.
The serial killers? Oh,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I went the
Come
wrong
dressed up
way.
as your own. Yeah. Tells you what podcast we listen to.
Yep.
And it's
They should
kids
celebrate
win.
such greats as Great Value Frosted Flakes, which I don't know how they get away with this. It's literally the same name.
It's Kids Win Wednesday, and also for the alcoholic parents, you can drink you some wine for Wine Wednesday.
Once they have to put up with all them kids on Wednesday.
Thursday is casino night.
Hey, I love me some.
Movie?
I like to gamble. I would love it if I was good at it, but really it's all luck, so you can't really be good at it. I like the
Settle for a
movie
tribute to the
casino.
movie.
I like the movie casino, the other movie Casino Royale.
It's
But anyway,
Thursday, and it's also People's Bank Night. If you're banking with People's, show your membership and get a discounted ticket. So Friday is Star Wars night. So yay.
2 months
The
after
firework-
everybody else does it.
Yeah.
Three
Of
months.
course, it's going to be fireworks. So we're going to have Star Wars themed fireworks, which just means they're playing Star Wars music while the fireworks go off. And it's the Science Center night. So show your membership to the Science Center, get a discounted ticket. Saturday is the Superstars are coming to town. Yay.
Okay,
Well,
the
casino-
superstars are fun. It's just no,
Yeah.
Alan,
if you've never seen them, they're very entertaining.
we
Yeah,
the three of
Seen them
us,
20 times.
the three of us are very blasé and jaded when it comes to the Superstars because we've seen it 30 times and it's always the same show. But if you've never seen it, it's fun.
Yeah, if
Or
you've
if
never
you've
seen it,
seen
it's great.
Or if you've seen it and you have children, take the children to see it. They will be highly entertained. They will laugh.
Don't let Alan's blasé attitude towards the whole thing.
No, okay, it's great if you've never seen it. The first or second time, you'll have fun. The 500th time, since that's all of us, it's like fucking give me a bullet for breakfast. But anyway, the first 500 fans through the gates Saturday will get a team photo.
I've actually got a new gig as the fake dancing umpire for Superstars this weekend. I'm gonna get some money.
Really?
No, that'd be fun though.
Because I mean, like I said, you look like Denver. And it's also paint the park purple. And
that's why I'm wearing this.
But it's going for all
Alzheimer's.
And oh my gosh, I'm not making this a joke, and I forgot the word. But what is it when you forget?
Alzheimer's.
That's it. I'm not making a joke. I swear to God, I wasn't. But that's what it's to raise awareness
right there.
Well, now that we've done the promotions, how about let's do the promotions?
But yeah, it's for all-timers awareness night. And like I said, that's not a joke. I didn't set that up. I just completely forgot what I wrote down. I couldn't. Yeah. And then Sunday,
roll with it, Alan. Improv, yes, and it was a joke. It was fantastic.
And that Paint the Park Purple is to kick off the walk to end Alzheimer's. Yeah, technically.
I think if you wear purple, you get a discounted ticket or something like that as well.
Something like that. But anyway, even if you don't wear purple, it'll be fun.
And Sunday is our last Llamas game of the season. And it's also Church Bulletin Sunday. So there's your promotions. Again, everything throughout the week. And Saturday, game starts at 7. And Sunday is the dreaded 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sun shining right on top of you, roasting your balls off. They need to change the damn time like Kannapolis did. But
yeah. Kannapolis.
Yeah. We didn't go Sunday yesterday. It felt like shit. We wouldn't have got the shirt anyway because there was a huge line for that shirt.
Really? Because last time I went on a giveaway night, they like me and Scott got there like 2 hours early because we thought there was going to be a long line, and then all the way like 5 minutes before the gates opened, there was still barely anybody in line. They went for a bobblehead.
They had to open the gates earlier than 12 o'clock yesterday for those Cheerwine shirts.
Oh well, that makes sense.
So many
Cheerwine's really popular.
So, but yeah, that's your promotions for this week. Come on out and support the team.
And now let's get in the DeLorean and let's take it back to 19 something and have Grandpa Jeremy teach us about an old team.
Gather around, kids. But it's funny you mentioned Kannapolis because the team I'm going to talk about today has ties to Kannapolis. And the team I'm going to talk about today, if you've grown up around here and been a fan of baseball like I am, you've probably heard that we had a team called the Hickory Rebels.
And when the Crawdads win and they play that little song afterwards, there is a nod to the Hickory Rebels.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've actually had 2 iterations of the Rebels. We'll get to the connection with Kannapolis in a little bit. The first iteration of the Rebels, which all kind of gets tied into one, was started by a guy named Norman Pinky James. He was a former Hickory High School sports star who organized the Rebels along with himself and some fellow classmates. And I'm sorry, Tar Heel fans, the fellow classmates from Duke University. He started the Rebels because he wanted something to do. He wanted to play some baseball. So what do? Start up a minor league baseball team of your own.
I wish it was that easy.
Well, apparently it was back in the 30s.
The good old
But
days.
yeah, but him and his classmates started it. Played a challenging yet entertaining level of baseball that drew thousands. And I would just like to say thank you to my girlfriend Amy for researching all of this for me. Um, they played their day games at. Have you ever been to the fairgrounds? Seen the baseball field there at the fairgrounds? It's called Hinkle Alley Field. That's where they played their day games. That's where they played from the beginning, and then later when LR, they said from what Amy found, and they rearranged their lights at their ballpark so they could play night games. I looked to try and find what that meant, and the only thing I could figure is that it meant is they took their normal street lights and just had the city move them around to shine down on the stadium so they could play after dark. So after that happened, they would play their day games at the fairgrounds and their night games they would play at LR. And if it was like a day night doubleheader, they'd play them both at LR.
The same baseball stadium that LR uses now. The same field, Dunham Field.
Don't know. I couldn't find that anywhere. I don't think it was Dunham Field.
Well, I mean, it
'Cause I
wouldn't have
know
been
that-
called that back then because that's
Right.
named after somebody that I don't know. if
Well,
they
I know the
died or
college was.
what, but
Well, I know the college was actually a little smaller back then.
yeah, because it didn't turn from Lenore Ryan College to Lenore Ryan University until the 2000s.
Right. So I mean, so I don't know. All I know is they played over there at night.
So they got an
During
LR
the day.
connection too.
Yes.
Go Bears.
So they started in 1936, and they went from 1936 to 1939 as completely independent, like a barnstorming team. They didn't even have a league that they played in. Then in 1939, they became a Class D minor league team. They played from 39 to 40, and then in Class D, they played from 39 to 40 and then 45 to 54 in 1960. But that doesn't mean they quit playing baseball in those years. They played in the Western Carolina League. Well, hold on, let me go back. Rewind. They played in the Tar Heel League from 39 to 40, and then they played unaffiliated in 40 and 41. They play independent in 40 and 41. And then in 1942, they were in
independent team survived through the war.
Well, 40 and 41, America was not in the war during the baseball season.
True.
We didn't get involved in the war until December 6th or December 7th, 1941, which would have been the winter after the 41 baseball season. They in 41, 40, 40, 41, they played independent. In 42, during the war, they played in the North Carolina State League. And then they played independent from 42 from 42 to 45, where they played in the North Carolina State League again until 1951. And then went back to the Western Carolina League in 1952. And then in 53, they went back to the Tar Heel League, 53 and 54. Then they played as an independent team. Independent like me, not having a league. They were they're independent in a lot of these minor league teams as far as we think of independence today, not having a parent club. But when I say independent about them, that means they did not have a league, but they still played. And then from 53 or from 55 to 1960, they were independent. And in 1960, they played in the Western Carolina League. And that was their final year. It says, 1933, James's Rebels would play day-night games doubleheader. Okay, sorry, I've already gone over that. Their affiliates from 1945 to 1949, they were New York Giants affiliates. From 52 to 54, they were with the Cubs. And that's, the first page. It's going to be kind of a long one tonight. She found this. don't know if you can see that, read that, whatever. It's a snapshot of the 1942 Hickory Rebels. I found it quite amusing. And the Kannapolis connection. Can you read that?
Yeah. Hickory takes
takes-
over Kannapolis franchise.
Yeah. That's because before that, the franchise that was in Hickory went away. So they had to get a new ball team. So the guys in Kannapolis, let's see here, Kannapolis officials explained the unexpected sale was brought about by the uncertainty of future manpower needs, i.e. players, and the uncertain reception the sport might receive in view of the war. In addition, the money derived from the sale will be invested in war bonds and used as a nest egg once the Towel City decides again to try organized baseball. Yeah, so sorry, the Tar Heel, I said they played in 41. They did not. Said they were left out of the pro ranks when the Tar Heel League folded after the 1940 season, and the inhabitants of the small town in the foothills of North Carolina, Hickory, couldn't be more excited as the ownership reveals that they are taking over the reigning two-time defending North Carolina State League champion Kannapolis Towers, lock, stock, and barrel. Included in the lock or stock or barrel, I'm reading from this article here, are the contracts of 14 players, but not for manager Joe Palmazan, who is given his release. Only 2 of the 14 players will play on the Rebels in 1942. In other words, they get 14 players off of a championship team, and they only keep 2 of them.
Wow.
Any names that we would recognize?
I'll go over those in just a little bit. Let me read this next part and see if you can tell me what kind of season you think they're going to have in 42. Make sure this. Yep. Okay. The St. Louis Cardinals. Sorry. Let me go back a little bit. However, no, don't want to read that yet. All right. It says on the first day of training camp,
My true
Shaney.
love gave to me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But Shaney, who's the manager, is still in the process of acquiring players. First day of training camp, still getting players. Charlotte Hornets say they are going to send him a left-handed pitcher and a catcher.
Wait, no. Who'd you just say?
Yes, I did say the Charlotte Hornets.
The baseball Charlotte Hornets.
Baseball Charlotte Hornets. That's why when basketball came to Charlotte, one of the first names sent in by citizens was the Hornets, because they have a long-standing tradition of having sports teams named the Hornets. Okay, so the Pittsburgh Pirates agreed to option some players to Hickory, and a pitcher named Alexander may be signed soon. The Brooklyn Dodgers say they have 7 to 10 players available for selection. This is looking kind of promising. I mean, you got the Brooklyn Dodgers in 42 are going to give you some players. I don't know if any of y'all know.
The more you build up how promising, this is going to be, the more I think that it's going to be an absolutely abysmal season.
Okay, I'll continue. The St. Louis Cardinals may make available some surplus players from their Johnson City, Tennessee franchise. And then there's this sentence. Of the 15 players in the Rebels camp a week prior to the opener, only 3 make the opening day roster. 3. You're 7 days out from starting a season with 15 guys. You're going to cut 12 of them. What kind of season do you think you might be having?
Well, when you were saying all this stuff about the Cardinals and the Dodgers and all that, I was thinking, oh, well, that sounds pretty good. But then cutting it down that much, only a few days to go before the season starts, that makes me think that that it's not going to. You said
I'm sure.
Here's a
I'm
basketball.
sure he
connection.
signed other players along that way. He didn't just say, okay, well, we're a few days out. I'm cutting all y'all but 3.
Here's a basketball connection. They might. You mentioned a team named the Charlotte Hornets. Well, here's my baseball connection. I bet this team is going to have the same winning percentage as the 2011 Bobcats, i.e.,
Oh,
not very good.
They should be so lucky.
Oh, brother. Okay. Well, I don't think anybody's ever wished the 2011 Bobcats upon anybody.
Okay, let's see. So concerned about the team's talent, Shaney, the manager, Shaney dickers with shortstop Hank Vorak, who hit a paltry 224 in 2 previous seasons, 39 and 40, with the Rebels. But the die is cast and the season begins. Now, May 7th, they're doing good. They play against the Statesville Owls. Infielder Pinky James, guy who started the team, homers as Hickory beats Statesville 11-5 in the season opener for both teams. John Carr strikes out 6 and allows 9 hits in a route going effort. Okay, in the first 14 games, they go 7-7.
Looking good.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad, but okay, May 27th, Shaney pitches, the player manager, pitches an 8-0 shutout of Salisbury. The win evens Hickory's record to 7-7, making the last time the Rebels are at 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a I'm going to play a little game here. Do you have a winning percentage for the year? Because okay. You said they should be so lucky when I mentioned the 2011 Bobcats. Let me just say, 2011 Bobcats finished 7-59 with a winning percentage of .106.
Okay, well, maybe the Bobcats wish they were so lucky.
That's what I thought.
Because the 1942 Hickory Rebels finished 18-80 with a .130 winning percentage.
Not much better.
Not much. That was, by the way, that year, that was the worst winning percentage in all of organized baseball.
Hey, you gotta do it right.
Yeah,
not just professional, all of organized baseball.
Sounds like the 2009
including college. That included college. Okay, I'll skip through a lot of this other stuff, just for time. I mean, some of it is like they signed one guy before a game, and he pitched.
Oh, wow.
The same day he was signed.
Yeah, they had a doubleheader. They signed him before the first game. He was the starting pitcher of the second game.
It would have been funnier if they fired him in between games.
Yeah, no, that would have been hilarious. But Hickory
And then the
actually
other
won.
team signed him, and then he pitched for them in the second game. That would have been.
Now, there have been trades in Major League Baseball that went that way. Played for one team in the first half of doubleheader and played for the other one in the second half.
Well, yeah, people have been traded for like a case of soda in baseball before. So.
Oh, one interesting thing, which might lead, which I thought was very curious. Where did I have it here? Sorry, I've lost my place. They traded their star player for nothing. Oh, here it is. On
Sounds like
July.
the Rangers.
Yeah. July 20th of that year. An inexplicable trade. Hickory trades second baseman Fletcher Heath, who was batting .337, and outfielder John Coakley, who was batting .320, to Mooresville for pitcher Joe Dobson, infielder Jordan. They don't give a first, or they just give Jordan, and $800 cash.
You ever think he thought he'd be the most famous Jordan in sports?
Maybe. But 2 days later, Heath is named to North Carolina State League All-Star team. So, I mean, what gives? Where they just said we suck, so let's tank the season and get some money.
Well, that's how the Bobcats got Kemba Walker. It's all connected.
Could be.
And to a lesser extent, Bismack Biyombo. But this is a baseball podcast. I don't know why I'm still on this thing.
Yeah. And then on August 4th, they sold pitcher Lucky Luther Smith to the Landis Millers for $300.
Which, even if you adjust for inflation, still is not all that.
Yeah, it's still not all that much for a ball player. But what gets me is like I read about these notable players on these teams from back then. They'll go play baseball. Even some of them will make it to the majors. You have like a 5-6 year career in the majors, and go back to work as like a foreman in some factory. You know, they'll all go. They didn't get paid back then like they.
Well, they didn't really get paid right. You know, not it's only been just a few years ago because I watched Facing Nolan Ryan the other day because I
want to see that.
I'm gonna watch
I want
that
to see
eventually.
that.
Well, you know, I think what was his second year with the Mets? The second year he won the championship, and then after the season was over, he went and installed heating and air because they did not get paid unless they played.
Yeah.
So you just won the World Series, and
Looking
now
for a
you're
job.
putting in ACs. You know, and they said that, you know, he did get a bonus, of course, for winning, but he gave all that money to his parents to pay the bills and pay the house off.
Yeah.
But, you know, it wasn't, it hasn't been around that long where these guys, you know, after the season's over, have to go get a job. So it's pretty new that they can sit back and chill now.
Yeah. Now, who didn't have to go get a job like Babe Ruth, you know, but even he didn't make money like these guys make today. Like the year that he made more money than the president of the United States, you know, that was all the sports writers were talking about.
Well, it's not like the president gets paid all that much anyway, to be honest.
Well, back then, that, you know, that was a lot of money. You know, but, you know, they asked him about it. They were like, you know, you got paid more money this year than the president of the United States. What do you think about that, Mr. Ruth? He said, well, why not? I had a better year.
That's funny. I bet Babe Ruth never fell off a bike.
He probably did. There just weren't cameras around to catch it.
True.
I'm pretty sure he fell upstairs too. So
probably
he was in a drunken stupor.
Are we still talking about Babe Ruth or the president?
We're talking about Babe Ruth.
Okay. All right. Well, we've been going
president every day drunken stupor. And I got one thing, a little bit more here.
That's as political as well.
I told you earlier about the guy who quit because of the heat. That was Pete Gouger, Gouger. Gouger. Anyway, North Adams, Massachusetts native Pete, whatever his last name is, leaves the Rebels after only a couple of games in mid-June, complaining of the heat in North Carolina.
Well, if you're from Massachusetts, then that's going to happen.
An all Berkshire County third baseman for Drury High School in 1941. Gouger enlisted in the Army Air Force, a B-25 bomber navigator. Gouger is shot down over Germany on February 25th, 1944, and is held prisoner of war for 15 months before being liberated from a prisoner of war camp in May of 45. Following the war, he attended Lacrosse University. So he complained about the heat and quit, but I guarantee you that man was not a wimp.
But he was a badass.
Yeah. I mean, you survived that long in a prisoner of war camp, especially a Nazi prisoner of war camp. Yeah, you're badass in my book. There's a couple other players on here. A couple guys went to one guy went to the majors. And he retired, went home to be a foreman. But he didn't have a great career. He just played a couple games here, a couple games there. But well, I want to talk about one more game. Oh my God. They got beat by the Thomasville Tommies last game of the season. Hickory Rebels, August 29th, 1942. Hickory Rebels at Thomasville Tommies, Bench Field in Thomasville, North Carolina. Final score 23 to nothing.
Say that one more time.
Oh, wow.
23 to nothing.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. They only had 2 hits the whole game.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and their last win was July 29th, 1942.
Wow.
They had a month-long losing streak to end the season.
Like the
That
crawdads
was-
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had, I believe it was a 16-game losing streak.
Like the crawdads last year.
You think that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that, I mean, we've been going for
And
an hour 15 now, which is usually about 20 minutes longer than we usually go. Does anybody have anything they would like to close with? Because I, for the first time in a long time, want to go watch some wrestling.
I'll say, if you
Well,
want to read the whole thing,
It's the
Just real
first
quick.
Raw with Triple H in charge yet, or the second? Yay, anyway. I can't
If
wait
you
to
wanna
see
read
what
this-
this is going to be.
if you want to read this whole thing, you can go to diamondsinthedusk.com, all one word. DIAMONDSINTHE
Okay, well,
I do have something to talk about.
are you sure, Alan, that you have something? to talk
Yes. Yes.
If you want to leave, bye.
Go
Talk about
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
It's going to take a while. No.
Okay.
I think it was this week. A friend of the podcast broke a franchise record. I think it was last week in stolen bases.
Oh, yes. It was last week.
Yeah. Right now, I think it was 45 was the record. I'm not sure. But right now, he has 48.
45 is where he's, when the 44 was the record. He stole 45 last week.
That's right. Friend of the
Now he's
podcast,
at 48.
Curveball Chris Dillon, has stole 48 bases for sure. Okay, no, who is it?
And security has a hell of a time catching him. He just runs out on the field, grabs him up, and takes off.
He's got a whole room in his house just full of bases.
But what brought this up is he broke, and I've been thinking about this, and I've said it all year. before
Who
the
is it
season
first? You
started.
got to say who it is.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm just trying to take
I'll give you a
time.
hint.
All right.
He's been on the
I'll give you
show
a hint.
before.
He was Mr. Football in the state of Alabama.
Yeah. Alabama.
Football. Mr. Football.
I don't know. I'm not a big football fan.
But I've said that he needs to be in the majors all year, and there was an article written about how the Rangers are sucking in left field. This guy can come in and do some damage. And I'm talking about no other than Bubba Thompson. I'm going to read you 16 stats. Out of these 16 stats, he is in the first place out of 11 of them. So let's just go with OPS, and that's on base plus slugging percentage, which I don't know how to calculate it, but he leads with .823. His average, he's leading, this is team-wise, with 302. Homers, he's second with 13. Do you want to know who's the first on the team with 15 homers?
Huff.
Huff. You were two
Didn't bring him up.
behind. Oh, you were 2 home runs behind Sam Huff. Okay. And so RBIs, he has 48 in first place. Runs, 76 in first place. Hits, 103 first place. Doubles, he's second in a 5-way tie with 12. The person that's in first place has 13. You want to guess who that is? In doubles.
Nah, I can't. Huff
Pozo.
again. Pozo. Okay.
Pozo.
Yeah.
All right. In triples, he's tied in second in a two-way tie with 3. When first place is some guy Hernandez with 4. I don't know who he is, but
What's the first
one
name?
behind. Do what?
What's the guy's first name?
It starts with an E. I don't know. I've never heard of him. But he's first in games played with 79. He's got 341 at bats. He's walked. He's in 4th place with walks with 22. Doro has 28 in first. So he's six walks away from being, first. He leads in strikeouts with 95, but nobody gives a shit about strikeouts anymore.
No.
That's why we had Joey Gallo. And of course, stolen bases, franchise record right now, 48. Caught stealing, he's only been caught 3 times. And he's second. There's a 4-way tie or a 3-way tie for first with 4. His own base percentage, he's first with 354. And his slugging percentage, he's first with 469. Why is he still in AAA? If the Rangers need somebody in the outfield, bring this guy up.
I know why.
Why is that?
Because the Rangers suck at promoting people when they need to promote them.
I
You couldn't
mean,
just
they'll
stop it if the
have-
Rangers suck.
They'll have these guys that need to come up in this position and are more than ready to come up. And it'll be a position that they need. So what do? Oh, let's go out and trade for somebody who's not as good as the people we got in Round Rock and pay them a whole lot more money. I mean, like, look at Jose. I mean, granted, they had Jose up in the major league level. He was having to fight for playing time with 2 other catchers. So what do? They go out and they trade him to the Yankees for another catcher. And then what does Jose do? Well, he
he's an
goes
all-star.
Gets into the All-Star game.
And they're
Playing
constantly
left.
sending
Do what?
and they're constantly sending Huff up and down. I mean,
Yeah.
he'll be there for a couple of days and they'll go back to Round Rock. But
Yeah.
I just saw. I mean, like I said, Bubba's a friend of the show. He's a friend. I consider him a friend, and I want to see him do good.
Same.
And he's got the numbers. The numbers don't lie. He needs to be there. They need him, and it just when he stole that base for the franchise record, which is not that 48 is okay, I guess. I don't know who leads the league. They just he leads the Round Rock Express, but he had a home run the other night. He's had an inside the park home run.
Yeah.
He is super fast. And Ethan's just jonesing to go watch that wrestling. So
It's the SummerSlam was
Jones
so
to go
good.
watch 2 sweaty men rub up all on each other.
Okay, SummerSlam was really good. Triple H is in charge now. Dakota Kai came back. Bailey came back. I'm excited. I know. You're trying to find a fucking gift. Listen,
can't find it. Sorry for such a long show, guys. Go get your t-shirts. Link will be in the bio. Go get your candles. Link will be in the bio. And like I said, for the douchebag that left the bad review, go to Amazon. Ballpark to Ballpark Volume 1. Ballpark to Ballpark Volume 2. Great books, all about minor leagues.
and none of your pictures
them
are
out.
in those books.
Yes,
Now,
they are.
before we go, I
I'm
want
in
to
there, bitch.
remind everybody before we go, if you are heading out to the movie theater this weekend and trying to find something to watch, just know that Where the Crawdads Sing does not have anything to do with this podcast or the Hickory Crawdads. That's 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. So, just kidding. I
Please
haven't
tell me you didn't think it had to do with crawdads.
I've actually not seen it. It might be great. That's just a little joke I thought of. So, anything else?
I could come up with some more stuff to take up more time.
No.
Watch Crawdads play the tours starting tomorrow at LP France.
Hooray. And we'll all be there. Okay. That's the Dirty Balls podcast. My name's Ethan. That's Alan and Jeremy. Hooray. See you later. Peace.
See you guys.
See ya.
Mash the button.
No.
Number 2, California, Coney Island. Hitting third, the catcher, number 55, Tyler, for whom the bell tolls. In the cleanup spot, right fielder, number 18, Brandon Stephens. Hitting fifth, center fielder, number 11, Draw Crampole. Batting sixth, designated hitter, number 16, Javi Baez. Batting seventh, first baseman, number 9, Horn Rice. Batting eighth, third baseman, number 8, Little Bo Peep. Hitting ninth, left fielder, number 4, Wiley Prater. On the mound tonight for the Greek Braves, right-handed pitcher, number 7, Bill Barcelona. And on the bench tonight, the reserves, number 38, Zane Richards, number 4, Wade Bunny, number 19, Jackie Peterson. The Braves are managed by Kaneko Teixeira, the pitching coach is Wes McGuire, the hitting coach is Danny Santiesteban, and the assistant coach is Bobby Moore. In no man's land, Trevor. Setting up in front of the big screen, Jace. Over in the most boring place on earth, Aaron. The guy who doesn't have to move much, Christian. The guy in the middle of the field, Franier. The not-so-shortstop, Luis Angel. Over in the lukewarm corner, Thomas. Now the narrow receiver, Randy. And the center of attention, Larson. Next time, the third baseman, Little Bo Peep.
They have two on. The up lost count. Gave him an extra ball. Wouldn't have mattered.